What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today we've got our first 10 FUT Champs games and lots to talk about today as well. Mostly at the end of the video we're going to go live, we're going to talk about Prime Icon SBCs and Screamer cards. So lots to look forward to. Like I said, first 10 games here. What I'm going to be doing guys in terms of the gameplay, because there's so many goals this year in FIFA, the games are just jam-packed of action. You know, so many of my games have 10 or more goals. Sometimes I concede lots, sometimes I score lots, sometimes a mix of both. But because of that, what I'm going to be doing is cutting out a lot of non-important goals. So, for example, in a game that I win 5-0, I'll show the first goal because it's an important goal. I'll show the last goal because it's the game-winning goal. And I'll show like maybe some amazing goals in between, but other than that I just won't show the generic, okay, I've scored another goal. What I'll also do is in games that are quite close, like there's a 4-3 in here, I'll show the important transitions of what happened. For example, let's say I went 3-0 down, I'll show the first goal of me going 1-0 down and maybe the first goal of me going 3-0, the third goal of me going 3-0 down. I'll also show the goal where I maybe put it back to 3-1 and the goal where I put it back to 3-3 and the goal where I either take the lead or go behind. So I'm just going to cut out a lot of just goals that aren't important to the results of the gameplay. And hopefully that will shorten the videos but allow me to put more games in. With that being said, I've got a really good topic to talk about, so I want to get the other comments out of the way first. First up is Louis Messiant. Says, Net, why is the market so random? This is literally insane. I saw Rijkaard for 430, 10 minutes later he was 480, like bang. Maybe you could help the community a bit with giving your view on it. Love the vids. The problem this year, dude, is that the Prime Icons are creating a situation we've never experienced before. But not only that, there was so much advice from trading accounts last year that people are so overly prepared this year that it has an adverse effect on the market. For example, everybody thought that you would need 83s and 84s for X, Y, and Z player of the month. So everybody's buying them up, getting prepared, so that when that SBC came, everybody's dumping them, forcing their price to go down. It's literally people are over prepared. Towards the back end of last year, it got to a situation where it's like you have to sell in the hype. You know, you have to sell before the time that you think you should sell because that's when they're at their highest price. Well, now it's moved even more because people are cottoned on like, oh, last year, if you left it too late, you missed out. So you had to sell early. So now everyone's dumping it early, which is actually crashing it early. So you now have to sell even earlier to get any money out of it, or hype sell, panic, you know, when people panic buy and panic sell. The bottom line is, dude, it's very tricky to understand the market this year because there is so much different. And what people fail to recognize as well is there's so much more in this game. We have a new rewards day on Mondays for squad battles, or Sunday nights for some of you on squad battles. We have daily and weekly accomplishments that add so much more to the game, so much more coins and such. We've got so many more SBCs already to date. We don't have one, like, you know, again, today, no SBC on this Friday. I thought they would release a Screamer SBC. I thought they might release some position change SBCs like what we saw last year. But we didn't see any of that. But in general, they have released so many more SBCs that it's just, the market is just wild. The market is just so wild right now. And I love it. I absolutely love it because if it wasn't wild, if it was just, oh, everyone can predict it perfectly and it's just whether or not you got lucky to buy or sell at the right time, this game would become very dead in the sense of what you can do with your coins, and it would become just a pattern of, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that, and that would be boring. So I like the uncertainty, really. I like the fact that you don't know what's to come. That for me makes every purchase risky and potentially profitable or potentially a loss, and I like that a lot. They're the three that I want to talk about. Mina Atef says, hey Nep, appreciate the series, but why not buy Baby Henry instead of Vieira? They both cost the same. You said you wanted to get Henry to 1,000 goals. Baby Henry, dude, for his price is not worth the money. His stats are barely better than Anthony Martial's, who is 50k. I'm not going to take out a player who is banging in the goals for me to get an icon card that by all accounts is not worth the money. You know, it's an 87 rated icon card. It's got good pace and dribbling, but average shooting and passing. It's just not worth it. Bottom line, it's just not worth it. The 90 Henry, that's worth it. The Prime Henry, definitely going to be worth it when I can get my hands on it. But the baby Henry, I don't want him in my club. He's not the guy that I want to take to 1,000 goals. Die Hard Gaming Clip says, do you think that it will ever add a left to centre-back or right to centre-back position change? I don't think they will, just because I don't think it suits anything. What I say, though, is that play players on 7 chem. You still get boosts. As long as your overall team chemistry is in good stead, 80, 90, 100, and player individual chemistry is 6, 7 or more, play players off chem, dude. Like, if you've got, like, a right-back that you think would be great at centre-back, like Mounier, for example, the PSG Belgian dude, play him at centre-back. He'll be amazing at centre-back. More pertinent when the players are better and better and better. Because, like, taking like a 92, 93 rated guy and playing him on 7 chem, he's still a beast. But obviously, like, playing, for example, James Milner on 7 chem might cause you some issues. But have a look at how players interact with just 7 chemistry and play players off chem. There's no reason not to. There's this idea in FIFA that it's okay to play wingers at strikers on 7 chem, but I never see people play centre mids at right mid on 7 chem or right mids at centre mid on 7 chem. I never see centre backs at right back or right backs at centre back. I never see centre backs at CDM, or more importantly, I never see CDMs at centre back. You can get a CDM on 7 chem at centre back. If the stats are right, if the player is good, you could get better, much better CDMs than centre backs at centre back. So always something to think about and look into. Ali Mukhtar says, due to the World Cup next year, do you reckon EA will release a World Cup mode at the end of FIFA when it is essentially dead, just to keep people playing? Love to hear your thoughts, love the vids, and keep up the good work. 100% they will. The cards are already in the database. There's already World Cup cards in the database, so we will be seeing something World Cup themed during the World Cup, and I can't wait. Tarandeep Daliwal says, hey Nep, Nick was talking about a new matchmaking system and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. He said you now face players of a similar ability, which is great, but I don't agree because if I face someone of my ability, I will theoretically win 20 out of my 40 games, placing me gold 3. But if someone awful faced people that are awful, they will also win 20 out of the 40 games, therefore placing 2 people of different abilities at the same rank. What are your thoughts on this new matchmaking system? I agree with you that I don't think there's a new matchmaking system. I don't like. I've obviously heard Nick, and I understand like his ideas behind why he thinks there's new matchmaking, because he says that he feels like he's getting easy wins early, and then he's facing people that are more and more difficult. I personally think it's the same as last year. I think the matchmaking remains identical to what it was last year. Maybe they tweaked some minor things here or there, but quite like you said, let's say you get someone of Dr. Jarber's ability. If matchmaking was how it should be, Dr. Jarber would theoretically get less than 38 or 39 wins. He'd get maybe 25, 26, win a few more edged out because he's so much better than other people. When you get like a top tier player, they would get less wins. And let's say you had someone to the ability of, say, Fangs, who's struggling to even qualify for FUT Champs. Had she qualified for FUT Champs, she would also theoretically continue to play against low-end players that would put her up to like 20 or so wins. I see your point there. I don't think matchmaking is that detailed. I think matchmaking is in a situation where you play, like, I think everyone has a hidden points total that you get that increases or decreases based on wins and losses, but I don't think it's necessarily the primary concern when matching people up. Because what happens is let's say me, for example, last week I was 33 and 6. I'm in game 40. I'm 33 and 6. It's Sunday night at 2 o'clock in the morning. The likelihood that there is somebody on my specific level that is also searching at the same time is super, super slim, right? So straight off the bat, EA are going to find it hard to match me against somebody who's going to be on my level. Secondly, they're then going to have to find somebody that's going to have a good connection to me, which again dramatically reduces the pool of players I'm going to be able to come up against. And then thirdly, they have to be searching for a game at the same time as me, which again dramatically reduces the pool of players that I can face. As it happened, the guy that I faced in my 40th game was terrible at FIFA. It wouldn't have surprised me if he was an average record. I also came up against someone when I won my 32nd game to go 32 and 5. The guy that messaged me after the game, said good game, he's a big fan of the series. I asked him what his record was, and that was him not getting gold one on his final game. So I played against someone who was 24 and 15, that then lost to go 24 and 16, whilst I was 31 and 5, or 32 and 5, somewhere along those lines. So I don't believe matchmaking is as Nick thinks it is. I understand Nick's perspective when he talks about it. I do sit there and I think, yeah, like, you know, he's coming up against players that he feels like he should be playing on a level at. But what I actually think that is I think Nick's just doing so well that he's hitting a level where he's playing against a higher pool of players, which is making it harder. You know, it gives the impression that it's harder for him because he's just in a tier above, not his ability, because he's a fantastic FIFA player. I actually think he's very good this year, as he was last year. I think he's better this year than he was last year. But I just think that he's playing against tougher opponents. That's what I think. And I think that's a constant playing against tougher opponents, not a byproduct of him doing well. I think he's just now, because he's good at the game, you know, whatever his elo is or hidden skill points or anything like that, it's chucked him into a pool of players that's at the top tier, so it's just far more difficult than it normally would be for him. I'd actually love to have a conversation with Nick about it. It would be interesting to get his perspective and debate the ins and outs of you know, what he feels versus what I feel versus what you guys potentially feel. But that's definitely an interesting one. But for me personally, I feel like matchmaking is the same this year as it was last year. Now, I've got 3 comments that I want to read all at once and then talk about it in general. So first of all is Arkle. He says, Nep, I played against Ultimate in squad battles today against a 61 rated squad, and when I looked in game at their players, they were around 99 rated. I uploaded a video to prove this. Please like so Nep can see and address this. I watched your video anyway. I knew what it was going to be. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I will address this in just a second, because we also get Mr. D says the difference between Ultimate and Legendary is way too big in my opinion. I beat Legendary regularly and comfortable with 5 goals or more, but today I tried a game on Ultimate and got destroyed 8-2 by a non-rare bronze team with 66 rating and 70 chemistry. Are there any others who struggled that much, or is it just me? And lastly is Waris Laney, who says, alright Nepo, I usually get just below top 100 on squad battles, beating Legendary 5-1 normally. So I've been playing offline divisions on Ultimate to try and improve my game. I constantly beat Ultimate 3-0 and 4-0 on offline seasons, but when it comes to playing squad battles, it's so much harder. Is it all in my head, or is there a difference between squad battles Ultimate and offline seasons Ultimate? Keep up the work, fella. Yes, there is a huge difference. It says on squad battles, in the bottom left, when you pick a level, squad battles uses your opponent's chemistry. This may be harder than in other game modes. And basically, it applies team chemistry and chemistry styles to the already added boosts that the AI gets pertinent to an individual level. I would assume professional is base stats, because it's a 1.0 skill rating, which means it's even, and the slider bars on when you select squad battles are even on professional. The higher you go up, the more they improve sliders. Now, I had this debate on Reddit, and people didn't, well, some people did, some people didn't get my understanding of it. But to go back to the first comment of everyone being 99, when you go to ultimate difficulty, EA need to make the players play harder. Now, people seem to think that EA can just code a magic system that makes them play better with bad stats. But if they have bad stats, that's how the game interprets how good the player is. So if they have bad stats, they're going to play bad. So people are like, oh, this is a low-rated, low-chem team on a high difficulty. I should still be able to beat them because they're low-rated, low difficulty. It doesn't work like that. The higher ranking you go, it shows you right there on the screen, the higher the sliders go. And when they boost the sliders, how do you think EA make the players play better? They make them play better by boosting their stats. So it makes perfect sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense that when you play on ultimate difficulty, you are playing against a very high-rated team, in theory, because otherwise how could they emulate a more difficult difficulty? And the arguments on Reddit and such were, oh, well, just make them pass better. Well, that's what they do. It's like, if you've got a bronze centre mid with 60 passing, on professional, he has 60 passing. His passes will be wayward, they won't be super accurate, the power won't always be perfect, the direction won't always be perfect. 60 passing, great. When you go to ultimate, how do you expect EA to make it difficult, but with somebody who has 60 passing? It doesn't work because the game interprets it from in-game stats. So to make that bronze player far more difficult, they boost the in-game stats. To my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, but this is just to my understanding, they don't boost physicals and they don't boost pace. Because the stamina levels of these players is still terrible and they don't outpace. What they boost is passing, shooting, dribbling and defending. Those are the 4 categories that get boosted right up when you play Ultimate. So those only get boosted on squad battles. So to go back to Warris's comment where he says he consistently beats Ultimate offline seasons, well, that's because you're playing against, for example, Sevilla, who have a really average team that don't have chemistry boosts applied. So not only do they have the slider boost, which is great, but on squad battles they then get big chemistry boosts. And what I was saying before about the left backs and right backs playing, off chem, even a bronze team with 70 chem, they're still going to get big boosts because it's still positive chem. If you come up against a team with like 30 chem or 20 chem, they're going to be having huge reductions in chemistry. They're actually going to have worse stats. I'm going to test some stuff out with Ultimate because I'm playing on Ultimate right now, not on Legendary. We'll test some more stuff out. But the bottom line is that... And for Mr. D's comment as well, saying he struggles so much on Ultimate, is because Ultimate is maxed out sliders. EA are saying the AI are fully boosted and they get chemistry boosts as well and chem style boosts as well. But Legendary is not maxed out boost. So Legendary, they're probably like 85, 86 rated players, whereas Ultimate, they're up to 99s. So guys, after our first 10 games, we're currently 8 wins and 2 losses. Exactly the same position we were in last week where we got Elite 1 after the 40 games. I really hope I can keep up the good form this week and at least get myself to 29 wins and pick up an Elite 3 or better finish. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the gameplay. Let's go live. Okay, guys, so 10 games of FUT Champs in, and we currently find ourselves 8 wins, 2 losses. The one dude that spanked me 5-1, very fair loss. You know, I had my chance. I brought it back to 2-1. I had a couple of good opportunities to get right back in at 2-2. But he was sat mad defensive. Played the counter, played it well and beat me. The other game that I lost 4-3, I really should have won that one. But I'm 8-2. I'm happy with 8-2. I was in the exact same stage last week after 10 games, and we managed to go on and get 34 wins. So hopefully I can push on through my next set of 10 games and get another 8 or 9 wins. Would be very nice. I ended up playing on Ultimate on squad battles. Dave Myler's been playing on Ultimate a lot and he encouraged me to do so. So I thought, you know what, I was outside the top 100 marginally and I thought, let me try Ultimate for the rest of this week. And my ideas was, number one, if I fail, that's okay. I'll get Elite 1 this week and we'll practice and try and get ourselves prepared so that we can actually play on Ultimate for next week and give a good shot at getting in top 100. Or number two, I was going to smash it and I was going to propel myself back into a really strong top 100 spot. And that's exactly what I did. I won game 1 3-0 and got 2,700 points. I won game 2 3-2 and got 2,400 points. I won game 3 5-0, getting 33 for the points. And then on the last game, I'll show you why. Look at that, I played Legendary on this game and I did worse. I got more points, but I didn't even get the 5th goal. And the reason why I didn't play on Ultimate for this team is because it's an insane team. So Sanchez, Jesus, informed De Bruyne, and on the bench, Dybala, Mbappe, Neymar and Bale. Like, I didn't want to play against that team on Ultimate and get dicked. And what happened was I ended up getting so many points that it propelled me massively back into the top 100 to the point where now, if I have a good weekend, I could quite comfortably get back into a top 20 slot, which is where I would like to aim for this week again. So top 20 right now is at 55,143, so I'm 1,000 points behind top 20. I'm going to continue to play on Ultimate throughout the whole of the weekend. Saturdays and Sundays games. We've got 24 games to go. I'm going to continue to play on Ultimate and really try my best to propel myself up to that top 20 spots to get myself, what do we get for top 20? 75k coins, 100k packs, 250k packs. Obviously, finishing in top 100 anyway is great. Yeah, I'm going to be trying my best. And I've got a lot to talk about. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I've got a lot to talk about in regards to Scream cards for you guys. Now, I've been selling a lot of items that we packed. Taliso from our rewards. I've sold some Screamer cards here. I think they're actually going for a little bit cheaper than what I sold them for now. Sold a Hilton, sold a Sturridge. Sold another storage. I've got another storage up for bin there, and a few other cards up for bin that you can see. And I've also invested heavily in Caleons. I've bought a lot of them for 1.1k, some nannies as well for 1.1k. And the reason why I bought a lot of Caleons, as you can see here, is because eventually EA are going to release an SBC where he's pertinent, right? And right now, Caleon is 1.1 to 1.2k. Let's go, there you go, 1.2k bid on him. 1k bid on that one, 2k bin right there, 1.5k bin right there. So I invested in about 50 Caleons and a few nannies as well. Just because, as I say, when he becomes relevant, what I did is I looked at this on stream, and I can't show you guys on the game unless I put images on the screen, which I probably won't. But if you go to Footbin, have a look at Borja Valero. Borja Valero, also Spanish, also from the Calcio A. When he was relevant to that SBC for the Screamer cards a couple of days ago, he went from 1k to 4.5k. So if Caleon is ever relevant as well as an 83 rated Spanish Calcio A player, he's going to be huge one time or another. So for 1.2k per card, it can't go wrong. You know what I mean? He's not going to go cheaper than this. He discards for hell, like for 700 coins almost. So he's always going to be able to be sold for 800, 900 coins as an 83 rated card. I'm never going to lose more than just 100 or 2 coins on them. But I'll hold them in my trade pile until they're potentially worth a lot more, and then I sell them. The other big news, guys, is that these cards, I tried to sell these, I've decided to not sell them because I'm potentially going to use them, and I want to know what you guys think about this. These cards are usable when boosted in SBCs, and this is important for 2 reasons. And I'm going to show you those 2 reasons now. So I've got a few Screamer cards there, and I've also got a few other Screamer cards in my club. So we've got Daniel Sturridge here in the club. We've got ourselves Bender, Boateng, Forster, Van Dam, and Peter Crouch also in the club. Now the reason why I've saved those and those ones on the bench is because once it gets boosted, they are usable in these as boosted cards. It was confirmed by the EA community manager on the FIFA forums, EA_Andy. You can go and check that out for yourselves. I'm not lying here. Now, Costa and Overmars are 90 rated prime icons. Costa right now, according to Footbin, let me get Footbin up. Costa right now, according to Footbin, is 441,000 coins. With these Screamer cards, when they get boosted, I did this on stream, I worked it out to the point where I can get Costa at an average well-rounded cost for 300,000 coins. Now that includes, so the Benfica team here, a very easy team to build, a couple of informs, and then just a really cheap team. Like these players are super cheap, like 1,000 coins for top rack. Horn, obviously we packed, so he's at no cost to me, but he has a value of about 1.2k coins. But the most important thing was actually the 86 rated squad. This one's quite tricky, and obviously I wouldn't use Pogba and Vidal. I was using those as 87 rated because these guys get boosted. Now, my Quadrado goes up to an 89 rated, and although he has a sale value as a tradable card of about 90,000 coins, first, he's untradeable, and second of all, to complete him, to craft him, it cost me 12,000 coins. So that's a 12k 90 rated card, which reduces dramatically the price of this 86 rated team. We also look at then Bender, 23k for an 87 rated card. Boateng, 17k for an 87 rated card. It brings the price of this down so much, but also I have Costa, the 86 rated, that cost me 3,500 coins to craft because he's from a 2-player pack, also untradeable. Essentially, I can do this SBC for very cheap, to the point where it cost me, I probably only have to spend about 100,000 coins, if that, because I've already got so much extra stuff in the club. Now, obviously, there's an opportunity cost, which is how much you would have made if you sold the items instead of turning in the items. But I'm very, very certain that what I want to do is complete this Costa. The reason why I want to complete this Costa or Overmars, and let me know in the comment section which one you would prefer me to do. Would you prefer me to do Overmars, or would you prefer me to do Costa? Or would you prefer me not to do any? And I know what people are thinking. Nepo, you said you're not going to end up putting coins and into untradables. And you're right, you're so right. But the reason why I feel like I want to do Costa or Overmars, is because first and foremost, I could use them as either starters or impact subs. You know, I'll give whichever one I did, I'd give them a shot, see which one was. You know, let's say we got Costa, I'd play him in midfield instead of Alessandrini. I'd play him at cam instead of Alessandrini. We'd see how good he felt. If he felt great, we'd keep him. If not, I'll put him on the bench. We'll use him as a super sub, right? Brilliant. But the most important thing for this, in my opinion, is that what I'm getting is a 90 rated icon for 300,000 coins or less, because bearing in mind, it would cost me about 300,000 coins based on what I'd have to buy and what I could have potentially sold if I sold the items instead. But we get 120,000 coins worth of packs back. Even if that's a bad return, we're going to make 50 to 60k. So we're looking at 240,000, 250,000 for a 90 rated Rui Costa. When we look on Footbin, the cheapest icon in general is currently, let me go to the second page, is currently Schmeichel at 270, Van der Sar at 280, Carlos Puyol at 300. The cheapest rated central based icon, even if we look at strikers and centre forwards, cams, CMs and CDMs, the cheapest based central player is Laudrup at 410 and Inzaghi at 410, or Pires, Rui Costa and Deco and Rijkaard also around like the 410, 420 mark. So I could do this Costa for 250k on a bad day, and if I hit something good in those packs, maybe 200, 180. And what that will leave then is when the big prime icons come out, the Henrys, the Ronaldos, the Pelés, the Maradonas, the Patrick Vieira, the Emmanuel Petit, if they require an icon, I've crafted a 90 rated, a high rated prime icon I've crafted for next to nothing. You know, so I think in terms of what I look at here is I look at the overall scope of possibility and opportunity. Number one, the screen cards are cheap and get heavily boosted, dramatically reducing the price of Rui Costa. Number two, we get packs back for Rui Costa. Number three, we get to use Rui Costa until I want to use him in crafting a better Prime SBC. And number four, he will be the cheapest possible icon. So for example, if Prime Icon Thierry Henry comes out and you have to buy, you know how like with Del Piero, you have to turn in a central attacking based player. Let's say something's the same for Thierry Henry. Let's say you have to turn in a striker for Thierry Henry. I can convert Costa up to a striker. Now I've got a 90 rated striker for super cheap. He's high rated. He's cheaper than any other icon on the market, and it would be a win. The only thing to consider is, would something like Henry, who obviously Henry is the first prime icon I want, that's the main one that I want to do, it's a striker Henry, would it require a central based icon? It's a left wing converted to striker Henry, so would you need a wing based icon to do it? So that's where you kind of sit there and think, ooh, that's interesting. Because I could do Overmars or I could do Rui Costa, and both of them could be effective. Alternatively, I could do them both. You know, it will cost me about 400,000 or 500,000 coins to do them both. I'm more than happy to do them both if you guys wanted to see it. We'll cover both bases. We'll get 2 untradeable prime icons, and who knows? Let's say they release a Ronaldo next Thursday, and I've got 2 prime icon SBCs, and to complete a Ronaldo, you need yada 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 yada, and 2 prime icons. I can get massive savings on those. The last thing I want to explain to you guys is this. I know these would be untradeable, but if you look at their actual market value, Overmars is currently on PlayStation 1.1 million coins, and I can craft him for about 250,000 coins. So I can craft him for less than quarter of the price, although of course I understand that he is going to be untradeable. And Rui Costa is 1.1 million coins. So I could craft either of these for about 1/4 of the price. Is it worth it? I think so. I believe so. But I want to take your guys' opinions. Let me know in the comment section below. What I'm actually going to do is over the next few hours, I'm going to cost out both of them. Like take the packs and give an average value back for a pack, even on a bad pack. For example, you know, for Rui Costa, you get a mega pack. The mega pack will get you on this one. The mega pack will always get you at least 12 to 18,000 coins. So I'll take that as a scope. You know, 18,000 coins on a mega pack for players, sales, for consumable sales, for discard value, etc., you're looking at 12 to 15,000 coins. For these ones, for a Jumbo Premium Gold Pack, you're always going to look at like 6 to 7k back for a Jumbo Premium Gold Pack. And for a Premium Gold Pack, which is one of these, this one here, you're going to look at least 3 to 4k back. So I could cost it out as what it would cost me for what I have to buy, what I could have got if I sold the items, and what I'll get back for the packs as a minimum base, and have a look at exactly how much each one will cost me, and then do that. Although, saying that, this Benfica squad, I can't do this any cheaper. I don't want to use this Horn, but this is the cheapest you'll get. Both of these informs are dirt cheap. The rest of the team is dirt cheap. The Calcio A squad as well. This is cheap. Like, look at this. So, Donnarumma, 1.8k. Callejon, I know I bought him for 4k, but I'd actually keep this one because he's got stats on. I'll get one off my trade pile. We're looking at 1.1k, so that takes us to 2.9k. Benatia 1,000, 3.9. Astori's worth 800 coins, so that's 4.7. 5.7 and 800 coins, that's 6.5. That's 7.3. 9,000 including De Rossi. 10,400 with Biglia. 11,400, 11,700, 12, 13, 13,700 to complete this for a Jumbo Premium Gold Pack. That's great. Now, I know it says I don't have the chemistry right now, I'm 7 short, but if I convert Nani down and convert Callejon down, that's 6 bonus chemistry, and then I could either go and get loyalty on one of these players, or I could convert these CDMs to centre mids, which I'm not going to do. I would go and get loyalty, but yeah, after getting loyalty, it will cost me less than 15,000 coins to complete a squad that will give me a 15k pack. I think I'm going to start doing these dirt cheap ones just anyway. Even like the 83 rated squad, this is easy to complete. 4 nations exactly, but overall 83 rated, but only 75 chemistry and 1 inform. With how cheap the 83s and 84s are right now, we could easily pick up, like, even if I look at, there's no even need to look at them. I know the Calcio A has an abundance of 83s and 84s that are dirt cheap, and then we throw in one of our trashy Team of the Week players. You know, we've got so many of them. If we look at our special cards, we've got so many trashy Team of the Week. Zuba, Pereiro, Alsoma, Moy not so much, but I could go and buy any inform for 11,000 coins, whack him in there and just fit the rest around. So let me know your opinions though, guys, in the comment section below. I would be interested to know. This is going to turn out to be a really long video, but I do appreciate the support of you guys. If you did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.